Hello everybody, this is Matt Hawes with The Happy Show, and I'm here today with another edition of Hawes Draws for The Happy Show. And what I'm doing today is going to be something different from what I usually do. As many people know, if they watch the show on a regular basis, when I do a Hawes Draws, formerly called a Quick Draw, I usually just take out a pen and pad and draw it right there on the camera. And while it can be pretty challenging drawing in front of the camera with no underdrawing, usually anyway, and just going straight ahead from the pen, so to speak, I wanted to try to show you different stages, and to do that, I thought it would be best to go ahead and draw the stuff, scan it in steps, and share it with you. What we have here is going to be an Iron Man drawing. Now, Iron Man is the star of his own film from Marvel Productions, and he also is a lone-standing character in the Marvel Universe. It's industrialist Tony Stark who developed a suit of armor to save his life but also escape captivity while he was in prison, and he decides to become a superhero after having freed himself there. So basically what you got here is you got the underdrawing of the picture. It's just a rough shape of what's going to be the finished product. I'm working out the ideal, basically the pose. I tried to go for a forced perspective here, as you can see, because the hand's pretty large and the front of the body's larger than the back of the body, because I'm trying to get the idea that he's coming forward at you, at least to leaning forward if nothing else, and his hand is put further still. And forced perspective can be kind of tricky, and hopefully this was put off good enough, but let's go to the next stage. The next stage is roughing it out more, and basically what I do is I start to tighten it. In this stage, what you'll see is I went ahead and started laying down the lines for the Iron Man outfit, the Iron Man armor. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever drawn him in this version of the outfit. And whenever I haven't drawn something for the first time, I do have to see some reference to see what it looked like. And I'll tell you what, every single artist from Marvel Comics seems to have their own version of this outfit. And this is no different for me. There's slight differences between this and what you'll find on any of the other versions of the outfit, because there's no consensus on this new version of his armor. So I went ahead and tightened that up even more, and that's what you're seeing here. And I tightened up the pencils a bit more and added more details. Okay, one thing I was tempted to do whenever I was in this stage is I was tempted to go ahead and color it right there and then, because most modern comic book artists don't seem to add any of the pen and ink shading to the work. They let the colorists do all the work, it seems, these days. And I could have almost went from this stage and start to ink it and have just, the outlines and then do all of the real shading in the coloring job. I kind of like to still stick to the old school, I guess, and actually do the shading with the pen and ink, and then still enhance that further whenever I color it. So what we do is we go from this to this stage where I'm actually adding the shading details in pencil at first. And so I just went ahead and put dark areas, highlights, little bits of detail for the shading. Then we go from there to the ink stage. Now you can see it's all black, solid black and white, pen and ink. And that's the finished ink product. But I didn't stop there. Mostly all my quick draws are in black and white, but I went ahead and did some coloring on this one to show you guys how it looks. Now what we see here is the basic application of color. I just went with the red and goldish look, kind of a yellow gold look, and he's supposed to wear crimson and gold armor, red and gold. And so I went ahead and just filled it up with flat color. On this next part, I added some brown to the gold coloring to give it the shading on the gold. From there, I go and I added some light highlights to the gold, so it's starting to look a bit different. Now, it's not starting to get away from the gold look. It looks kind of like a brownish tan armor, but don't worry, I go over that again. What I usually do is I like to get the shading put down and the highlights put down, and then I go over it again and add some yellow to it. But before I did that, I went ahead and went over it with the red and added some shading to the red. Now here you see I added highlights to the red. So we're getting closer to the finished version of it. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. You'll notice I added a gradient background and gave some little effects there to make it look like his repulsor raid is glowing and everything else. That's the finished look, and just for fun, and this is what it looks like under those lines. That's right, I'm giving you a glimpse of the undercoloring here. This is pretty much the way it looks in the finished product, except for I added a few more highlights and such. And that's it for this edition of Hall's Draws. I hope you enjoyed looking at this, and I plan to do some more in the future. So please stick around and continue to watch The Happy Show. Yay!